You are listening to the Power of Inspiration and Awakening Radio with Julia Griffin. To master a higher frequency for new state of mind. Once you walked in a forest of splendor in which everything you did and everything you thought was aligned. It is possible at this time to begin to return to the old knowledge. Intuitive healer and manifester Julia Griffin is here to talk about this unique time in history when all sentient beings, animals, plants, trees, and the earth are intent on creating this change. The wolves awakened her to the most incredible light, which opened gifts and brought knowledge that she longs to share. You are creators, and you are born to be creators of beauty, possibility, and joy. Join Julia on a journey into a beautiful and magical world where amazing possibilities exist. Let us help open the door. The Power of Inspiration and Awakening with Julia Griffin starts right now.
Hello, everyone. I'm Julia Griffin, and you're listening to the Power of Inspiration and Awakening on Transformation Talk Radio. Stay with us for the next hour and let us help you experience a higher vibration and a new state of mind. Today, we're talking about the changing energies. I'm sure all of you are aware of how odd the world has been now that 2020 has started. However, there's a great value in this transformational time. I talk to wolves and I talk to animals and I spend a lot of time with the earth. And there are things that I see and feel that I think can benefit you. And what I'm going to say is, let's raise our frequency and embrace the changes so you can become more of who you really are. So one thing that I always like to ask myself is, where are we energetically? Well, we've just moved through the last of 3 eclipses. The last one was Saturday on the 4th of July. It was a very, very high Schumann frequency. And that is the measure, or the frequency, I should say the resonance, because it's how the earth vibrates and the electromagnetic field. Greg Braden suggested that the rising resonance, the rising Schumann resonance, is an indication of how the heart within the earth beats and how we respond to it. So when we see it go way up, and I think it was 99 on Sunday, that is a very high frequency that's exuding from the earth. There's a lot of light coming out of the earth, and that light is changing things in nature. The ley lines are changing, which those are the patterns of energy in the earth. If you've ever gardened and you have a place in your garden where things grow exceptionally well, you're probably aligned with the ley lines. There are power points. I can particularly see them in the United States. I think we're all aware that the Native Americans and other people have used them for shamanic ceremony. Those are changing. They're moving. So we know something incredible is happening in nature. It's raising its frequency so we can raise ours. So in other words, there's this beautiful emanation. And there's this opportunity to align with someone wonderful, someone with more spiritual abilities that we've never had before. So here's a really simple example. When the phone rings, I can usually know who it is. In other words, to me, now there's a separate ring for every person that I know. I usually knew before intuitively who was calling, but I didn't hear an individual ring. Only makes sense because it's a person's frequency with the phone's frequency. But we are developing new powers of hearing, seeing, and feeling. Sometimes we may feel overwhelmed by that, and we may also have some overwhelm with the Earth's frequency going up and down, because now I think it's like today it's maybe at 12. So you can see how that's a big shift. When we go through a big shift, we go through ups and downs. So what's happening there? We experience the lower self and our fears and the way we're wrapped up in lower emotions. I certainly do. Then we get into the higher frequencies. And those higher frequencies tend to occur in a place where we haven't felt them before. Our heart may open more than it ever has before. We may just simply have a little visual of life feeling and looking better. And it happens in some odd way. So we start to open ourselves up to the divine. We begin to open ourselves to greater possibility. Now, one thing that we've heard a lot of, and I want to bypass this, is people keep saying, oh, this is a time of the unknown. This is a time of uncertainty. Okay, so let's talk about that. I had always been afraid of wolves, and when I stepped in the pen with them, it was a mixture of fear and desire. And that's what happens when we're in our heart. We feel fear about where we want to go, and there's a strong desire too. So what if we act on that desire? What happens? We step into the unknown. And if we're following our hearts and we step into the uncertainty and we step into the unknown, what happens? Our gifts open. There's a new world there. There are many more possibilities than what existed before. So don't we want that? Isn't stepping into the unknown one of the most exciting parts of the spiritual journey? Now, I'm going to add one thing to this because I've learned this on my way. We all have parts of ourselves that have, let's just say, weaknesses or don't have a full capacity to see what the picture is going to be. But we know that we repeat those things. So can't we change that a bit in our mind? So this time I'll stay brave. This time I'll stay on target. This time I'll listen more to my heart. We can all do that. We can all see abundance. We can all accept our power and our gifts. And we can let this new world flow through us. Because it's always stepping into the unknown that leads to the realization of the inner self and that incredible connection to the universe. So in my life, even in this weird time of isolation, I still find time to spend with the wolves. Sometimes it's just me, and I drive a long way and visit with them at a friend's house. And when that happens, there is always this wild, deep feeling between them and myself and the earth. And I want to come to this. When you step into your heart, there's always this feeling of the wild, of some part of you that's strong and brave and curious, that wants to open up. So when we have that connection between the earth and the spiritual world, it's how we begin to align ourselves and align our material reality through higher consciousness and higher thoughts. It's how we attune to messages that are uniquely for us. It's how we respond to challenges. It's how we find the parts of ourselves that can climb up that top part of the mountain, or that can do things differently and think things differently and see things differently. So let's take just a second. Take one small problem in your life and ask the universe to solve it for you. Feel that light of the universe. Feel the love that's within yourself. And feel it flowing through that problem and transforming it now. And to that equation, please add faith. Faith that the universe is listening. Faith that you have the power to stay aligned. And that that right solution can and will come to you. So take just a moment and think of, maybe there's just 1 million of us on the whole face of the earth that can do that. But think how much light that is. Think how that opens a path for other people to do the same, or just simply that your light lifts the planet. So that's one way that all of us can make a substantial change. Another thing that we can do is ask for harmonious alignment through these challenges. So what does that mean? That means that maybe when I'm overwhelmed, I garden, or I meditate, or I go for a long walk, or I put my consciousness on the beauty of life. The gift of feeling, whether it's good or it's bad. I mean, it's great to be alive and feel, right? The gift of having the capacity to transmute it into a higher form. The gift of seeing the incredible beauty of the light that is within everyone. And that is one of the best reasons to develop your intuition. When we perceive the light and the beauty within ourselves and other people, life begins to take on a different shape. Now, from what I understand about the energies that are coming in, it will soon be much easier for us to focus on that light, focus on positive outcomes, and have them come into being. One of the things that we're doing right now is learning how to feel life differently. And that can be, as I said, a challenge or difficult because we're going up and down in the energies. But think about the ocean. Think about being on a wave and you're on a float. And all of a sudden you see a way to move through the water so that the ocean carries you in. And you feel the beach and the softness and the fun of the ride. And that's where we're going. So feel that beautiful wave, that beautiful world that's coming, and let your consciousness stay there. We've been talking about the changes on the planet, some of the challenges, and some of the inherent beauty that we can tap into. It is a most amazing time. We learn to look at it as a time to move into the inner self, to connect to the universe, and to embrace growth and change. When we come back, we'll look at a few simple ways to move through these changes, and I'll talk a little more about them and what I've learned from the wolves. So let's go to break now.
Sometimes being human has its challenges. Our physical health falters, our spirits sag, our dreams don't immediately come to fruition. Welcome to the power of Maximum Medicine Radio. Join me, Doc Martin, in conversations that will blow your mind about healing. In our hit show, Doc Martin addresses the scientific with bridging to the mystical approaches to give you a new narrative about maximum medicine. In this live call-in show, we will journey into the extraordinary genius of the human body and talk about other beliefs that impact being your multidimensional self. We seek the seen and the unseen and explore the earthbound and the otherworldly, all with the purpose of calling forth the maximum you. To learn more about Doc Martin and Maximum Medicine, visit www.sharonmartinmd.com.
Hi, this is Kimberly Carlson, and I would love for you to tune into All In Healing Radio, where together we will begin to experience health, happiness, and harmony in all areas and aspects of life. Join us every first Tuesday of the month at 11 a.m. on TransformationTalkRadio.com. All In Healing will help you release layers of negative beliefs and energies for radiant health, deep joy, and greater abundance. Visit me at KimberlyCarlson.com.
How many times do you find yourself saying, "It was nothing," or "just doing my job," when really you knocked it out of the park? How did you get like this? Next time someone tells you "great job," you'll know how to accept it and not deflect it by listening to Courage to be Seen Radio with host Sherry Clark. Sherry Clark is an experienced global engineering leader, coach, and mentor. From her experiences one-on-one coaching to corporate consulting and executive coaching, Sherry has learned many women need at least 3 things to discover and face success. Learn about the ACES program, how to survive male-dominated fields with grace and authenticity, and reach the top without ever once giving up on who you are. Courage to be Seen host Sherry Clark explores the awesome power of your entire self and how far you can go by being more you. Check out her website, CourageToBeSeen.com. You have the courage to be seen. See you later.
everyone. I'm Julia Griffin at OneTrueSelf.com, ONETrueSelf.com. And you're listening to the Power of Inspiration and Awakening on Transformation Talk Radio, where you can experience a higher vibration and a new state of mind. We're talking about some of the challenges in this new world and a few simple ways to move through them. So let's talk about this. When you're on a higher frequency, you're going to automatically see yourself as well and protected and healthy. You're going to see yourself as abundant and attracting abundance, and you're going to see yourself as loved. So when you're out of that space, ask yourself, how can I get back into a higher frequency? One of the easier ways to do that is to recall times that you were in that space and to see yourself moving into it. I will say that I've noticed recently, at least since June, I should say, that the energy is up and down a lot. So we all need to discover what puts us into a higher frequency, and we need to practice that. Meditation helps, but it helps even more if you'll make that habit of seeing yourself as happy, as loved, as abundant, as healthy. And it sounds so simple, but it takes a while to cultivate that habit. And it is something that we all want. And it is okay, too, to feel tired some days and energized other days. It's just part of what is going on. Why is it going on? Because we have so many waves of cosmic energy that are coming into the planet. The best wave is love. And it is the most uplifting wave. And it reminds us of our ability to move into this cosmic space and overcome things by changing our minds, by changing our emotions, by connecting to light. We also have lower vibrations. They come from other people. They come from geographical locations. They come from mass consciousness. But if we keep practicing, we can do it. Another problem is, or I should say a challenge, is that our intuitive abilities are increasing. And so we're hearing and seeing and feeling things that we're not yet aware of. For people who really want to get through this, I suggest studying energy so that you can identify energy. In other words, is this my anxiety or is it someone else's? Is this my fear or someone else's? Because as we move into greater intuition, you have to decide that for yourself. You also have to have a flowing awareness of the habits that are best for you from day to day. Because right now, even our taste in food changes from day to day. But let's click back into the higher energies. And one of the big changes that we can all make, even if it's just for a few seconds a day, is altering our beliefs and seeing the world from a more positive point of view. Now, how do I know this? Well, I had things that happened to me as a child and a young adult that were most disturbing and upset, and probably anyone would say, gee, those are good reasons to feel depressed. But when I started living with a wolf, my wolf Maya would send this energy, and I would come out of that emotional place into a place that was near bliss. I won't say that it's bliss or ecstasy, but it was certainly a very good place. Then the next thing that happened is I started having incredibly happy memories during those same points during the day. And soon I learned that it is indeed possible to change your emotions, to change your mind by cultivating different waves of emotion and higher vibrations of feelings. So that's something that we're all working on. We have to have the courage to know we can change. Because it takes courage. Otherwise, you slip back to where you were before. And the other piece with this is faith. So what does faith have to do with it? I'm not telling you to go to church. I'm not telling you to meditate. I'm not telling you to do anything that doesn't resonate with you and your inner self. But in the Piscean age, the past age, we were ruled by that energy. And Pisces is mysticism. And everyone did believe in miracles and opening themselves up to God or the universe in prayer and receiving a dispensation, a change. And there is a power in opening your consciousness to that possibility. It's something that we probably should all move more into. For example, how often do we believe that the universe can bestow us with an incredible miracle like tomorrow or the next day? Do you see how when I'm saying that, how we limit our possibilities by not believing in that possibility? There are a whole lot of people who are telling us how to manifest, how to create change, how to be authentic, how to make $1 million. But there's not a lot of believing that we have the power to connect to the universe, and the universe loves us and cares about us so much that we receive that dispensation. And that's part of any heartfelt change. So I'm going to ask, what if I had not believed in the wolves? Or what if I said, oh, that was just a chance? You know, when they tell me something would happen, when they give me all this information, that was just a one-time thing. I don't think I'll listen anymore. I don't think I'll open anymore. I don't think I'll act on those things. So this is the place where we step into the unknown. This is the place that we step into faith. But what about believing in you and your connection? The only question you have to ask is, are these changes, are these intuitions aligned with your heart? And that's something that we find by going within. If you keep working with your heart space, it answers. And other people's hearts answer yours. So let's just go into that space for just a moment. Let's draw a circle on our chest. Let's breathe in pink particles of light. Let's breathe them out. And in and out. And let's feel unconditional love from the universe flowing through us. That love that loves us just exactly the way we are. And sees and feels our perfection. So let's breathe in whatever it is that our heart wants, that expansion, that courage, that faith. And then let's breathe out that courage and faith into our energy field. And just feel your aura growing larger. And breathe it in again. And breathe it out around you. So let me ask you, what has your heart always wanted? So I will give you an example of this. When I was a child, I spent a tremendous amount of time in the woods observing animals. And I had tons of animals as pets and raised wild animals. And I always wanted to be able to hear animals, what they said. I could feel what they felt. I couldn't hear them. So I tried that for a long, long time. And then I decided I would just move into my heart. I would develop myself. And that's when I started hearing animals. So when we decide to really experience the higher part of ourselves and experience that unconditional love of the universe, it rewrites our space in the world. And that's just an incredibly exciting thing that we can do, whether it's for 15 minutes, whether it's for an hour, whether it's for right now and a few more breaths. So let's take in one more breath of that pink light. And let's feel it coming in and awakening those desires that we've always had. And you don't even have to know what they are. You just let that unconditional love come in. And you receive the way that the universe feels your perfection. And you open your heart to move into the universe more. So let me make a point about this unconditional love. It's not personal. It's not about how you love your child or your husband or your boyfriend or your pet. It's simply receiving a very beautiful and pure form of energy in the universe. And that's one of the things that we all came here to do. So spiritual work always takes us around to love, and always takes us to that giant belief that's so beautiful, that we can connect so deeply to ourselves, to our heart, to the universe, that life changes. And that's one of the most exciting and beautiful qualities of life on this planet. Because if we really want to get down to it, where we don't have what we want, it's because we haven't learned to love and clear those parts of ourselves. And that is one of the things that's going on, is that we're seeing the parts of ourselves that need to clear. And as we do that, as we learn to love and integrate those parts of ourselves, we get to move into an incredibly beautiful new reality that's already on its way. So when we come back, we'll talk a little more about our challenges, about our growth, about our beauty within, and how we can find that and change our perception of the world. Let's go to break now.
Yeah, yippee skippy to that, baby. We're not done yet. Some of us are out here to educate and inspire. This year, 2020, is the year we gotta show me the money in the cash flow. I'm Dr. Pat. This is the Dr. Pat Show. This is Talk Radio to Thrive By.
Visit thedrpatshow.com.
The Truth is Funny. Shift Happens with Colette Marie Steffen is excited to welcome Karen Benton as a monthly guest host. Tune in on the third Wednesday of each month at 8 a.m. Pacific Time to regain confidence and trust in your capacity to create change in your life, your health, your family, and your well-being. Karen Benton is a mother, nurse practitioner, certified body talk practitioner, Franklin Method instructor, and owner of Limitless Living LLC. For more information about Karen, visit KarenBenton.com. Is traditional medicine not working for you? Do you still feel as if your health isn't 100%? Here at the Holistic Medical Center, Dr. Nushin Darvish and the qualified staff look through the dimensions of wellness and start a healing plan prioritized to your needs. Our physicians assess the whole you until complete health is achieved. Get the help you need by visiting drdarvish.com or call 425-451-0404.
Do you sometimes feel overwhelmed by your mind? Powerless when it seems to spin in worry circles or bombard you with self-critical thoughts? Do you want to learn how to master your mind and feel more in control of your life? Listen to Dr. Friedman's Empowerment Radio. Shift from confusion to clarity, self-doubt to confidence, and from anxiety to peace and balance. Dr. Friedman and his many guest experts share the insights and tools you want to live with greater ease, joy, and purpose. Tune in to Empowerment Radio every first and third Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific Time.
Conscious Confidence Radio, a timeless wisdom with Sarah Main. Tune in each month on Transformation Talk Radio and join Sarah on an adventurous journey to the deeper level of meaning to move beyond today's world of constant change, confusion, and uncertainty beyond the shadow of fear. This hit show explores key concepts such as confidence, values, and attitude in a dynamic way. To learn more about Sarah and her work, visit sarahmain.com.
Hello, everyone. I'm Julia Griffin at OneTrueSelf.com, ONETrueSelf.com, and you're listening to the Power of Inspiration and Awakening on Transformation Talk Radio, where you can experience a higher vibration and a new state of mind. We're talking about some of the challenges of 2020, information from the wolves, and a few simple ways to move through them. So one of the things that we're going to talk about is karma. Now, the wolves in the earth see it quite differently from the way that it's been presented to us. And I think like so many rules on the planet, it's just simply changing. I see karma as energy that's going in the wrong direction. We're depositing it in the wrong bank, the one that spends our money or our energy quickly, instead of the bank of saving positive energy and light. Karma is really not a bad thing because if we're honest about it, whenever we clear it, we let go of limiting beliefs. We release the vision of how life affects us, and we take on a higher belief, and we get a part of ourselves back. So I'm thinking that we're revising it at this point in our evolution. We're all letting go of old patterns, emotions, and ways of being that go back probably lifetimes or centuries. As we do this together, we're learning to feel the world differently, to clear the parts of ourselves that block that beautiful vision from the world, of the world, and that block what we can receive. So part of this is opening up to receive more and to open our gifts. If we look at mass consciousness, if we're watching the news or we're spending too much time on social media or talking to people in a lower vibration, there's fear, there's lack, there's anger, and there's the feeling of powerlessness, which is victim mentality. And this is certainly not to say that some of these things are not valid. But for those of us who are on a higher vibration, we've got to rewrite ourselves, rewrite our beliefs, and rewrite the way that we see the world. Because when there's enough light, physical matter for the world follows that. And there is always, always a way to do it. Don't see yourself as a flawed person with problems. See yourself as a powerful person. See yourself as a powerful person who can connect and find a magical, beautiful way of changing your life into something better and happier. Because we all have that. If you're awake enough to be listening to this, then you already have that ability. Well, one thing that we're also fighting, and we can call this karma because it's energy that's going in the wrong direction, and that is lack of love for the planet and a perpetual visualization of the wipeout of species, the destruction of the earth, and the helpless feeling that follows this. But what I'm seeing is an earth that is emitting so much light that she is definitely healing herself. And it's about our aligning with that healing. Whenever possible, see the earth as whole and beautiful. See things that don't exist in a particular space. Maybe you see a construction zone. I put trees there, or I put environmentally sound houses there in my mind. Put birds there. Hear music. Put beautiful things wherever they are not. And that's how we use our power of positive feelings and our power of visualization in a new way. So just for fun, let's work on this now. So choose some beautiful, peaceful place that you've been before and see it in your consciousness. And if you're comfortable with it, add a few wolves or one. And let the beauty and peace of this place flow into you and your consciousness, so that this peace is all that you're feeling. Feel the motion of the wind, the green of the plants, the movement of water, and let it move through you. Notice how everything is smooth and calm. Now let that peace move through you with gentle waves. And let those waves of peace move through your life. Feel the changes that additional peace in your life might make. Feel everything changing on those waves. I extend those peaceful feelings out into the world. And I just sort of feel them go around a globe. Sometimes I see the literal world, but usually I use a symbol of it. And then come back to you. So you can see right away how substituting a higher vibration for a lower one not only helps the world, but it helps you. It takes you into a space where you feel quite wonderful. And this is a way of using your power to change things around you. So I wanted to share a few questions that I asked with the wolves. One was, I knew that we would have a global connection or a global consciousness this year because of the alignment of the planets. And one of my questions is, why did it have to occur on a lower level, the virus, instead of a higher one? And the answer to that is that the Earth had to step up her frequency. She couldn't live that way, and neither could we. So a solution was created so that everyone who wanted to go to a higher vibration could come along with the Earth. And that means using visuals, having compassion, connecting to nature, and using your inner talents. Because those are the things that are needed in our next world. And they told me that great magic and beauty are hidden in this opportunity. So one thing that we're also going through with this wave is realizing that when we uplift our thoughts, our emotions, or our lives, that's a higher frequency. When we do that, we immediately experience more energy from the universe. Over time, we experience that as a transformation. And for those of you who are deeply involved in metaphysics, you know it is one of the current spiritual laws on our planet. So part of this change was also the stillness. When you don't go around and you don't do a lot of things, there is a stillness to absorb. If you move into the stillness, then you receive clues. You receive these new energies in that space. The way that we go more deeply into higher global consciousness is by overcoming fear, learning how to interact with others on a positive level, which hasn't been easy because Venus has been retrograde for 2 months. It's just now direct. What does that mean? That means that it's more difficult for people that you have relationships with to receive love and to radiate love back into you. So we're all moving through that. And that part is almost over for the moment. And we have to learn to work with ourselves, which is a way of connecting with the all. When you sit outside and you meditate and you're breathing and the world is breathing with you, you've connected with the all. And in a sense, that resets your energy. It resets you at a higher point. So that's something that we all want, whether it's 5 minutes or 15 minutes. The other thing is to work on peace and harmony, as we just did. And when we work on peace and harmony, you probably noticed, we create it for ourselves. Now, I was a bit worried about the earth, so I asked about that. And the message is that the earth is already at a much higher vibration than it has been in the past. It is much cleaner because we haven't had all the flights in and out of our country. And that the birds are singing for us and the stars are shining for us. And they're very well aware of our existence, whether we are aware of theirs. The other piece of this is recognizing when we're in a lower vibration and learning how to generate new thoughts and visuals. so that we move into the happiness of life. So let's take just a second and let's delete and uncreate for all of you whatever emotions are in the way of your creating a happier, better life. And let's delete and uncreate the emotions from past lifetimes that are in the way. And however you're tapping into mass consciousness or lower frequencies, let's delete and uncreate. And let's take just a moment to see and feel you at a higher vibration and to see and feel you as your beautiful self. So we've been talking about the changes on the planet, what they're about, how they can be used for our benefit and for higher vibrations. And we'll talk more about this when we come back. In the meanwhile, remember your light, your inner beauty, your power, and your strength, and all the changes that you're making on the planet, and how you can use this to create a new reality. So let's go to break now.
Do you know how to achieve wellness in all areas of your life? Hi, I'm Mary Jane Mack. Signs of wellness are a capacity to love and ability to nurture, a sense of purpose, a good sense of humor and plenty of fun in your life, a concern for others and a respect for the environment, a conscious commitment to personal excellence, a sense of balance and integrated lifestyle, and capacity to cope with whatever life presents. Well people enjoy their lives and want them to last as long as possible. That's why the wellness mindset usually accompanies other constructive, healthy lifestyle habits. By adopting a wellness mindset and behaviors like eating well, taking the right nutrition for the body, exercising, and saying affirmations are just a few things to structure a healthy system of values and beliefs. I will be your wellness coach to help you achieve a wellness lifestyle. Call us at 888-777-4232. That's 888-777-4232. And visit us at MaryJaneMack.com.
Are you ready to put down that drink or drug for good? Are you struggling to maintain your recovery from addictive behaviors? Do you need help with a family member or loved one who's in early recovery or battling addiction? Get the help and guidance you need by arranging a Recovery Recharged phone session with me, Ellen Stewart, Pushy Broad from the Bronx, certified life and recovery coach. Call 1-800-889-1757. Make an appointment today or go to my website, pushybroadfromthebronx.com, and click on the link that says Recovery Recharged. Don't wait. Get the help you need today. This is Ellen Stewart, Pushy Broad from the Bronx on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Are you done being afraid to jump into the life that's waiting for you? Are you ready for a real shift? I invite you to tune in every Tuesday with me, Tracy L., on the Tracy L. Clark Show, where we will teach you how to live your extraordinary life. At 8 a.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio, where I will provide the tools and the steps needed to help you transcend perceived limitations and move forward with an extraordinary life. For more information, visit me at TracyLClark.com.
Hello, everyone. I'm Julia Griffin at OneTrueSelf.com, ONETrueSelf.com, and you're listening to the Power of Inspiration Awakening on Transformation Talk Radio, where you can experience a higher vibration and a new state of mind. We're talking about changes on the planet and your inner power and your inner beauty and your ability to create a new reality. So stay tuned and let's jump in and talk about it. The first thing I'm going to say is meditate as you like. You may meditate when you're walking, you may meditate when you're cooking, or even when you're working with other people. But that meditation means that you center within yourself and you contact the universe. And that literally gives you some protection from all the waves of energy that go up and down. So how does it give us protection? Well, first of all, you're aligned with your heart. Second of all, you move into higher consciousness, and that's the place of love and light. When we're in love and light, we're on that higher frequency where we're protected. It's the place where the universe has different rules, and wonderful things begin to happen in non-ordinary ways. There are angels, intuition, and beautiful events that are waiting for you in your higher consciousness. It takes practice, it takes time, and it takes patience to develop this, but it is so worth it. And it brings in a new, happier way of looking at the world and feeling it. And that's part of the shift now. It's part of what we're all working on, is how can we be the person who looks at the new world and sees it and feels it in a new and better way. For those of us who are on the path of light, and I'm sure all of you are, it's the way to go. It's here that you begin to see your goodness, your gifts, and you find the courage to live life in a different and wonderful way. It's also how you discover who you truly are and what the universe intends for you and how you can align with that. Our visualizations, feelings, and responses are so incredibly important because they affect reality. We talked at the beginning about stepping into the unknown. What if right now you change your beliefs about the unknown? Stepping into the unknown is the most exciting thing, the most exciting opportunity you've ever had. As a matter of fact, it's the one you've waited for to become who you really are. That will affect how the non-ordinary and the ordinary reality come together in your life. Because these internal visualizations that we have, and we're always doing them. What do I mean? Go get a glass of water. You can't think about that without feeling the glass, without hearing the water, without thinking about where you would do that. So all day long, even in our sleep, we have these interesting unconscious visualizations. When you do a conscious visualization from your heart and your mind, it alters physical reality because they resonate or vibrate at a different harmony and a different pace. So since we're automatically producing all these cool images, why don't we throw in a few that really benefit us? In general, they're positive wherever we've learned to align with our inner self and our gifts, and they tend to be negative wherever we have a problem. By reconstructing the images, we learn to feel more positive emotion, and we consistently work on achieving a higher connection, and that changes the way that our life goes. It reconnects us with our spiritual desires and our heart's desire, and it's fine to want things like abundance, and that just occurs to me. If you have a business or if you're working with people in a business, it's very helpful to see everyone as affluent and in a state of abundance and in a state of generosity. That's a beautiful way to live. Not only does it help them, it helps you. So see if you can change the way that you visualize life into this, a state of abundance. And use your imagination to dream up the best world you can possibly think of. Now I want to talk a little bit about our inner power. And that seems to be something that most people are unaware of. So I'm going to say this: if an aspect of your life is repeating and repeating, how powerful are you to recall that and recreate it every year, every month, or every 10 years? That's pretty darn powerful, right? Well, what if you used your power the other way, to create what you intended through your heart or through your connection with the universe? That's using your power. You're already powerful. It's just waking up and realizing it. And it's not a reckless meandering toward goals and intentions or fixing your mind on specific intentions, because that really never works. It tends to come through the ego. It has to come through this feeling in the inner self. And when you have that life feels lighter. And it reveals the song of the heart. And when that comes in, you're in the flow. And life starts to carry you more of the time. And you move into that marvelous love and light that we were feeling. Now, how do we do that? We vibrate at a higher degree. Vibration is just essentially a measure of frequency. Think about the colors of the rainbow, the 7 colors. Most spiritual people have learned how to align with the colors so deeply and thoroughly that it's the only thing that you see or feel. And when you do that, you feel the light in it. You can even feel the healing, or you might hear a sound. But when we move into our inner power, we decide to use our gifts to develop, to move into love and light, to see the good for others and animals and plants and all the good things on earth. When we do that, we move into one of the desires of the universe, or God. In other words, the universal power joins our power when we're aligned with the concept of greater good for ourselves, for the planet, and for others. And that's the beauty in it. Every time we do this, we're actually opening up our inner gifts. However, many people don't know what they should create because they haven't done the practice. They don't do the visuals, they don't do the meditation, they don't jump into the unknown. So they keep asking for the same thing without taking the power steps. What are the power steps? New ways of visualizing, feeling, staying connected, taking action, and perceiving life in a different way. And that sounds super easy, but it does take work. So, can you come up with a way of seeing your life as better? Just a tiny amount. Can you give up your emotions that are in the way, your patterns? And can you move into expansion? When you do that, you begin to receive and emanate more energy. And you move into that beautiful impulse of the universe. Well, that's where we're all going anyway. So I figure sooner is better than later. And here's the wonderful part is you really, truly feel your heart when you do that. And it really does change everything. And this process that I'm speaking of leads you into new solutions. It led us today into going into our heart, putting that beautiful pink light around us and sending peace to the earth. And those are just 2 tiny examples of where we can go. So here's your tip of the week. Move into that space. Use that frequency to change you. Turn the lower thoughts and emotions into higher ones. Notice your abilities and talents. See your goodness, your power, your light. And if you do this for a few days, you will be very pleasantly surprised, because that's what the universe does. Currently, we have classes that are starting this month, awakening classes. You can sign up for the weekly newsletter on my website at onetrueself.com, onetrueself.com, and receive tips about the energetic weather. If you have a comment, you can write to me, onetrueself@gmail.com. Thank you for tuning in to the Power of Inspiration and Awakening show, where you can experience a higher vibration and a new state of mind. Please join me on the 2nd and 4th Wednesdays of every month at 12 noon Eastern, 11 Central, and 9 a.m. Pacific. Have a great week, and I'll see you soon. Namaste.
Thank you for listening to the Power of Inspiration and Awakening Radio with Julia Griffin, to master a higher frequency for a new state of mind. Join us next time as Julia takes us deeper into the memory of the moments of light where transcendence and enlightenment emerge. The memory of the jewel of consciousness has always lived within you. To tap into waves of energy and create huge changes by imagining the beauty of the vision and desires that are hidden in the heart. Learn to find your way back to nature, beauty, and your own heart, which holds the secrets of your existence and future. To discover more about Julia's adventures, animal communication, and the teachings she brings to every show, visit OneTrueSelf.com. That's OneTrueSelf.com. That's ONE, TrueSelf.com.